It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag Utah Jazz.
This was always the most likely individual outcome that we expected and kind of prepared for, given that the flattened lottery odds since 2019. So we were prepared that this is a very real possibility, and we're excited to add a good young player to our team. We've got the work we've been doing for the last 2 years on this particular draft. We get to kind of put plans in motion now and have a bunch of guys get into our gym and create a competitive environment to really evaluate these guys. This week at the Combine is going to be really, really productive for our staff, especially our scouting staff, to see these guys up close. We have Coach Hardy here and Danny and myself along with our staff, so we have a bunch of interviews to do, get to see these guys and start talking to them in person and really start drilling down on the possibilities.
That's Justin Zanuck, Utah Jazz general manager. Onward and upward, PK.
Yeah, I'm not buying it.
No time for a big pity party.
That's what I'm having today. I appreciate your pep talk this last segment, but it didn't work.
You're down. You wanted Cooper Flagg.
You could just, at least get the other two also to finish fifth. It's just awful. You basically said, well, be happy your team isn't moving. And that's what we used to have staff meetings over across the Watchdog, and the editor would say, well, at least you're not getting laid off. That's essentially what you said for 20 minutes here in the last segment. It didn't work for me. I appreciate your efforts, though. And Justin Zanuck, this is what you planned for. That's why you sat a 23-year-old Walker Kessler. That's why you sat Isaiah Collier. That's why Lauri Markkanen barely plays half the season for this. You could have done that, lost a bunch of games, and still got this. Nice spin, y'all, but I'm not buying it today.
Well, I think it's half of why they said it. I mean, they did do it because they wanted to move all the way to the top, sure, but they also did it because they didn't want to give OKC the pick. And they guaranteed that they wouldn't give OKC the pick.
So that we're going to do that again next year. That was their number one thing, that they didn't give OKC the pick.
I do think we're going to do this again next year.
Give freaking OKC the pick. It's not worth it. Give them the pick and get it over with. And then you never have to worry about that again.
This is the third of 3 years that pick hung in the balance. And the year to give it wasn't this past season, it was the year before when the draft wasn't as good and it was protected up to 10.
Well, I have no idea, because I have no idea how that. I don't agree with that completely, because if Cody Williams blows up and becomes what his brother has become, then it was actually a junior. So you can't say that. You can't guarantee me that.
But once you went in on it, there's no reason to pull back.
Okay, well, that means there's no reason to win. So, Markkanen, go ahead and play your heart out in the summer for the Finnish team, because that's really all that matters. And get your $46 million by sitting your butt on the bench in sweats next winter. Great. And that's supposed to be a pep talk? That at least they didn't move?
I don't.
That's all you got for me?
It's not a pep talk. I think that's largely what's going to happen, except I think one more thing's going to happen. I think he's going to get traded, and he's going to make his 40-whatever million somewhere else next year.
Great. Then they bring back the players and have them sit on the bench. It's the same thing, so what's the difference?
Unless they trade for a younger guy or draft picks that don't make the team better immediately.
They've got to trade the same amount of money within the ballpark, so they're going to get this. Markkanen is not a franchise-changing player, so they're going to get the same amount of talent. Not that he's a dime a dozen, but we keep building him up as if he's all that. I mean, they can get equal talent, and then they'll have to sit that talent on the bench next year.
That may happen.
Right, so the pep talks ain't working today.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag NBA.
5 seconds left to go in the half. Now with 3. Crosses over, frees himself. 30-footer on the way. Got it at the buzzer. Big-time shot by Ant. He brings the Wolves to within 2, 60-58 at the half.
Green on the right from Anunoby. Pick and roll. Right wing, sidestep 3. In and out and back in again. He got it. Jalen Brunson puts the Knicks up by 12.
Obviously, you're always worried about someone's health. So the fact that he had to be carried off, like you said, he's the type of guy that when he gets right up. So he didn't, and we'll know tomorrow exactly what it is. But it's tough to watch a guy like him get carried off like that.
That Celtics coach Joe Mazzulla on Jason Tatum having the injury with just a few minutes to go there in Game 4. The Knicks beat the Celtics 121-113. He'd had a huge game, scored 42 points, but non-contact injury. Find out later today if it's the Achilles. He reached back, like that's what it might be. So looks bad with him going down the hallway.
They were losing the game anyway.
They were. They were down.
They were going to lose the game.
Down 9 with about 3 minutes to go. It didn't look good. I mean, we've seen a couple miracles in this postseason, so I suppose that was out there, but it did look like the Knicks were probably going to win that thing. And in the other game, the Timberwolves beat the Warriors. Anthony Edwards goes for 30. No Steph Curry. Minnesota now up 3-1 with a chance to close it out at home. Pacers and Cavs, we'll see who plays for Cleveland. What's Donovan Mitchell's status going to be tonight? And also, that's a potential closeout game. The Nuggets and Thunder are 2-2. The one series that we're not talking about injuries. Both teams healthy there. TNT tonight for those two games, 5 and 7:30. DJ at PK.
Hashtag NFL.
Scheduled games coming out for the NFL. Kansas City Chiefs are going to host AFC West rival Denver Christmas night, Amazon Prime Video. And the Black Friday game will have the Bears and the Eagles. So, drip, 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 one game after another. The full schedule coming out tomorrow. Bengals star pass rusher Trey Hendrickson said yesterday the franchise has cut off contract talks with him. Hendrickson's 30. He's entering the final year of his contract. He's coming off his best season in the NFL. Led the league with 17.5 sacks last season and was named to the AP All-Pro team. Cincinnati's already paid their 2 star wide receivers, so the defense that wasn't good could be losing their best pass rusher. Longtime NFL commentator Chris Berman, 70 years old, signed a contract extension with ESPN. He'll end up working 50 years if he completes the deal.
So what you're telling me, next season he'll be back.
That is exactly what ESPN is telling us, yes. Little home run derby call.
Does he do anything besides football?
I don't know for sure. I think what he does is the football highlight show that he used to do on Sunday on TV. He now does
on streaming.
On ESPN Plus. And I know he does that, and beyond that, I don't know.
They've also said that so ESPN has the 2027 Super Bowl, and
they're going to use him for that. Yeah.
I haven't heard him in years.
Yeah.
I don't watch any of their shows.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
Miami Hurricanes quarterback Carson Beck has been cleared for all team activities this summer, according to head coach Mario Cristobal. He underwent surgery to repair the UCL in his throwing elbow last year. Is that Tommy John surgery, or is that a different surgery?
It's not as apparently as, I guess invasive is probably the wrong term, as the Tommy John, but it repairs the same ligament.
NCAA President Charlie Baker said he's up for anything. That's the quote. Up for anything. When asked about President Donald Trump's proposed commission on college athletics, Trump proposed creating a commission last week with the thought Nick Saban and Texas Tech billionaire businessman Cody Campbell could serve as co-chairs to the commission to look for solutions to the issues in college sports. Make them sign contracts somehow. Stop all these transfers. Stop the money.
So we don't need Trump or Saban. We got you.
That's what they're going to try to do.
Commission headed by David James.
That's not going to happen. Not happening. DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
And now Carroll swings, sends a high fly ball, deep center field. Lee is back, and that's just that one go. Second home run of the night for Corbin Carroll. The man's on a heater. He's got 13 now on the season, and he doubles his own lead. It's 2-0.
Swinging a high fly ball, right center field, should be deep enough. Lindor tagging at third. Reynolds makes the catch. Here comes Lindor. The Hail Mary throw, not nearly in time. Put it in the books.
Highlights from around Major League Baseball. Yankees beat the Mariners 11-5. But third baseman Oswaldo Cabrera suffered an ugly lower leg injury. He was sliding into home plate. He was taken away by ambulance after the injury. Riley Green scored a Little League home run for Detroit. They rout the Boston Red Sox 14-2. Had a couple of those this year now. People throwing the ball all over the place. Padres bullpen that had been so good got hammered by the Angels. 6-run ninth inning, grand slam to win it. Taylor Ward down the line and left. And your Diamondbacks grinding out a 2-1 win over the Giants. Let's let Corbin Carroll handle the offense, shall we?
Yeah.
Couple of solo homers for him.
Yeah. And the ball got stuck underneath the fence that denied him of a run. Their big first baseman, Naylor, hit one that triples alley that they have in that ballpark in San Francisco. And the guys claimed they couldn't get it. And Corbin was on first base, and he runs really fast. He would have scored jogging, but they made him go back to third.
The old run to the wall and then put the hands up like,
yeah, and somehow I got wedged in, and I can't get it. It cost him a run. Turns out it didn't cost him the game, so I guess it didn't matter.
Evan Longoria will sign a ceremonial one-day contract with the Tampa Bay Rays June 7th and formally retire as a member of the team he starred for from 2008 to 2017. He was a Rays draft pick and built his fame there.
Yeah, I believe he was a dirtbag.
Salt Lake Bees.
That's Long Beach State.
That is Long Beach State, yes. They formally changed their name, right? They were the Long Beach State 49ers, but the dirtbag was the nickname beyond the nickname, but
yeah,
I think they dropped the 49ers, and now they are officially.
Correct.
Bees in Sacramento playing the River Cats. First pitch 1:05. That'll be streaming with Tony Parks on the air at 12:50. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NHL.
He'll get it to Walker. Walker's got Roslovic with him. Walker holds, shoots, and scores! Sean Walker's first postseason goal, and it is a monster. Carolina goes up 4-2 with 3:15 left here in the third.
Hyman working with Kane to the right corner. Hyman on the inboards, out to Kane, to Henry, score! Oh, look out! Oh, we got a tilt as Hill was going after Kane. The Edmonton Oilers are up 2-0.
Aiden Hill taking a dive, stuck his leg out, then got hit, then flopped. Big old fight starts, and a replay busted him. Flopper. But I guess he got the fight he wanted. Edmonton got the win they wanted. 3-0 the final score. Edmonton now up 3-1 over Vegas. And the Hurricanes beat the Capitals 5-2. Carolina pushing Washington to the brink with that win. Tonight, Winnipeg, trailing 2-1, will play Dallas in Dallas, 6 o'clock on ESPN. What's Trending brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Coming up, Bob Casper, co-host of Real Golf Radio, PGA Championship, 8 o'clock. We'll do our draft. Rafael Barlow, NBA Big Board, 9 o'clock. We'll talk draft with him. And Brian Howell, Colorado Buffalo's beat writer for the Buff Zone and the Boulder Daily Camera at 9:30. DJ and PK, stay with us. Question of the day next.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present...
This is JJ and Alex.
Now, every team has been assigned a Heisman contender. If you were going to pick somebody who'd win the Heisman Trophy, the Heisman Trophy is built for numbers. The Heisman Trophy is built for flash. And Devin Dampier for Utah could actually give you both of those things. If you're actually going to list somebody on every team, fine, that's fun. And Utah, I think if you're really talking about it, inside the state of Utah, the person who would actually have the ability to be able to do it, I think is Devin Dampier.
I agree with you. If he is able to do the things he did at New Mexico on a Power 4 stage and is even more productive in the past game, he's going to make some noise. Is it going to be Heisman noise? Utah would have to have a remarkable season. He has the type of skill set and he has the type of electricity that will get that kind of attention when he's successful.
Catch JJ and Alex afternoons from 3 to 6. Presented by G2G Bars on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The 5th pick in the NBA draft will be made by the Utah Jazz.
DJ and PK, proudly presented by our title sponsor, Black Desert Resort, Utah's premier golf resort. Jazz fall all the way to 5th. What hope is left? Scott, I'm done with the NBA. I'll admit I fell into a trap thinking we might get a fair shake. I didn't think they'd allow us to get one. But 5, Imagine the team that traded the top 3 pick to the Lakers out of nowhere, just happened to get the number 1 pick. I'm out till they show the lottery live with an unbiased person picking. I'm done.
I don't buy that it's rigged, but it is funny how LeBron leaves Cleveland. They get the number 1 pick. Dallas, Anthony Davis leaves New Orleans. They get the number 1 pick. We can go back with the Ewing thing and all that stuff, and LeBron when he was coming out of high school, and then they needed him in Cleveland, and Hatback can talk about we're not a small market, blah blah blah, but Flag goes to Dallas, and they're in a play-in. It just doesn't sit right. If I'm a Jazz fan, I'm in despair today. I grieve for the Jazz fan in the sports sense. It's not real life, I understand that, but it doesn't make sense to me how you could, a team with 1%, less than 2%, 1.8 to be exact, gets Flag, and they're a big city, and the other ones around them, no. Man, it just doesn't sit right. There's nothing that's going to cheer me up today.
San Antonio and New Orleans are even smaller markets, and they won in the lottery. I mean, this time it is a bigger market than one in Dallas. There's no doubt about that. But San Antonio's won the thing repeatedly, and they're smaller than Utah. And New Orleans is smaller than both of them by a pretty wide margin now. So it has worked in other years for small markets. And the 1.8 thing, man, it seems like a long shot, but the Utah Mammoth were a 1.5% chance of moving up a week ago, and they hit.
Yeah, all your attempts to make me feel better just aren't working.
Okay.
You can keep trying, but
doesn't make me feel any better either.
It doesn't make any better, but it's like it happens.
Yeah, and it
nobody,
sucks.
And nobody complains
I know
when
we're
it goes
supposed to
for
be
you.
peppy, and it's all about image, and we're here to brighten your day, and we're going to tell jokes as you go to work, and it's all happy talk so we can get our contracts and get our money. I understand all that BS, but I can't be BSing today. I got to speak from the heart, and today sucks. I can pretend all you want, and my gosh, we live in the best country in the world, and blah, and all that stuff. Great, I understand, and we all get giggly on television news. I get all that, but that doesn't work today. This is a downer of a day, and I got to be real. If I don't have credibility, I got nothing. So I can come in and try to massage your feelings, Jazz fans, if that's what you want. But do you want real talk or do you want nonsense? I can't give them nonsense today. Today sucks.
Yeah, it'd be better if they got their number 1. There's no doubt about it. But at 14%, I didn't really think they were getting number 1. And somebody's got to get
They got number 5.
And they put San Antonio, who's had back-to-back rookies of the year, in the number 2 slot.
Right. That sucks.
And maybe trade. Let's see. The speculation's already started.
Today sucks. I know you're a TV guy, and it's supposed to be all happy and peppy. And
this is what they signed themselves up for. They traded all-stars for future draft picks.
And today sucks.
And I did think at the early start they were going to flip the draft picks for veteran players, and this is going to be shorter. I did think that. And they haven't. So here we sit.
Yeah, and San Antonio's gone 8 years without making the playoffs, but they got the greatest coach ever because he runs his mouth, and they're going to have 2 lottery picks, and then they get number 2. This stinks. Yeah. And I don't see any hope for the Jazz. I believe in Ainge 100%, but I don't know that I can expect him to walk on water here. And what is he going to be able to do? This is not a good day.
A lot of comments about Danny Ainge this morning. Jeffrey, big game hunting, followed by an unsuccessful tankathon. Unless Danny Ainge pulls off another steal, he should probably go.
Oh, I mean, just rearrange the chairs all you want. That's
Jazz management deserves this, Jason says. The NBA can't admit it, but this is a great way to not reward the biggest tankers with any of the top 3 players. It's seriously time for Ainge to go, Chris says. This plan has backfired. Danny Ainge immediately is persona non grata. The nonsense of the past few years has gone on long enough. We're an embarrassment to the league, and losing all those games these past 2 years has gotten us absolutely nowhere.
Right now, I can't argue that. I can, there'll be sunny days in the future, but right now, I'm in mourning in a basketball sense. And Maybe later in the day you can hear happy talk, but you're not going to get it from me.
Eric, the problem is they have basically tanked for 3 years now, but for the first 2 years, they sucked at sucking. After 3 years of tanking, it's not clear we have a single A-level player.
Yeah, okay, and that's true. I agree with that. But if they had done it differently, you wanted them to do differently 2 years ago. Well, they did it differently this year, and it still didn't work. So how can you tell me if they would have done it differently 2 years ago the way you wanted it, that it would have worked?
I mean, there are no guarantees. They could have had the pick and picked the wrong player. I mean, go down all the roads, and we know what they are. At some point, you think with high picks, they're going to cash in and they're going to hit on somebody. But as Ainge said at one of his rare press conferences a couple years ago, Stockton, Malone, Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, none of them were top 10 picks.
Yeah, I don't know if they've hit or haven't hit. I'm not going to judge 19 and 20-year-olds as their final assessment.
To Eric, he did words. He says, after 3 years of tanking, it's not clear we have a single A-level player. Now, it may just not be clear yet. So he's with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, how in the world can I give a grade to Hendricks? Yeah. He hadn't played.
Rookie year, massive injury, now what? Right.
Right. So what am I supposed to think there? I don't know what to think. The reasons why they drafted him, they're still the reasons why they have a level of optimism for him. But it was always going to take time. As Hatback said when they traded Gobert and Mitchell, that was the start of the rebuild, and it was going to take a while. And here we are. It's taking a while. But they haven't gotten breaks along the way. They got bad breaks, the literal break that Hendricks had. And who's to say? What was Jokic in his first year? I don't even remember. To me, as a second-round pick, Filipowski showed me something. Yeah. I think Flipper can be a player in this league. And Collier, I'm still excited about his future. If you want to go happy talk, we can do the positives. Cody Williams showed nothing. I can spin it any which way you want, but he showed nothing. He was badly, grossly outmatched. All I can do is hope that he can grow up, and I don't mean that mature-wise. I mean physically-wise, and see if he can get close to what his brother's doing, because I love what his brother's game is at Oklahoma City right now, and maybe there's something there. That's where I have to trust Ainge, and I don't have anybody 100% trust. But I believe he's as good as anybody else out there in evaluating talent. So we'll have to see on all that stuff, and they may have to just alter their plans a little bit and be a little more aggressive. Because what's the point of going through? Give friggin' Oklahoma City the pick. Don't suck. If you want to suck and play with the young guys and let them get experience, that's fine. But don't suck just so Oklahoma City doesn't get some pick. Because the picks, so what? Give them the freaking pick and get on with it already. It doesn't mean that your franchise is going to fold up because Oklahoma City has the 7th pick of the draft or the 9th pick of the draft. I guess it's up to 8 protected. They have the 9th. That's not the end of the world. That should not be your primary motivation. We're going to suck next year so we can keep that pick. You don't even, because you can go ahead and then the lottery odds can fall against you again. And so you can do whatever you're supposed to do and still lose the pick.
True story. It's all true.
Create a plan. If you already got to the plan, stick to the plan and continue on.
I'll be surprised if the plan isn't to go ahead and tank, but we'll see what they do in the trades this summer, and they don't have to decide that until after the trades are done.
I don't agree that they need to tank.
I think that's the plan.
I disagree with the plan.
Agreed, there are other paths forward that they could choose, but I suspect that's the one they're going to be choosing.
I don't need to see Isaiah Collier sit in April because they're worried about the freaking 8th or 9th pick.
Walker Kessler resting.
At 23 years old,
he's 23 and he doesn't need to rest.
He gets 4 or 5 months off out of the year. And he needs to rest, and so I can get the 5th pick, and Oklahoma City doesn't get some pick? We're acting like it's the holy grail here. My gosh, if they get the pick, oh no!
It's actually a good analogy. It is the holy grail.
I mean, you have to weigh the cost analysis, and go ahead and lose, okay, but don't sit guys. Sexton, he needs to sit. So Oklahoma City doesn't get a pick? If that's your mindset, you deserve what you get, because that's not an aggressive mindset. If you have any passivity in this game, you lose. So don't have that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that was the mindset.
And it was wrong.
Yeah.
It sucked. That's what we got today. This is. I believe, hey, Jazz fans, do you want to hear pep talks today, or you want to hear talk? Let me know.
No, pity party.
What do you want today? I'll give you whatever you want. What do you want?
And anger.
567-8423, whatever the crap the number is. And what do you want to hear? You want to hear truth as I see it, or you want pep talks? At least your franchise isn't moving to Vegas. Is that what you want to hear? The Chargers moved. I got it.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
And the Raiders.
Yeah,
and the A's.
It sucks for them.
Minnesota.
But this franchise it's not even. Let's talk about BYU doing away with the honor code. It's not going to happen. The Jazz aren't moving. So why do I? If that's the best I got, then I got nothing.
Jazz fans, what do you want this morning? Truth, pep talk, pity, strategy. You want to swap any of those out? I've only got the 4 options in the poll.
To me, I live my life by one word. I am sworn in. I swear myself in every day when I come to work. I put my hand on the BOM and I raise it to the square and I say, I promise to give you the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me, listeners. That's my vow that I make every single day when I wake up.
And the truth is, the draft is a painful path until it isn't. There's a lot of agony involved in this path, but when you hit, whether that's because you get number 1 and it's Cooper Flagg and everybody's identified him, or you hit on somebody people didn't identify.
I think there's one big lesson here today. Do not rely on the lottery. Put that out of your mind. And Jay-Z tried to say it, well, this is what we knew. There was a good chance. Yeah, I don't buy it. That's what you're saying today, and I like the guy, but he's in spin mode because you don't sit Walker Kessler if you thought this is what the result was going to be or you wanted the result to be. You could have played those guys and still got that. You got what you got, and you didn't need to. Isaiah Collier sat. For what?
So they
to
didn't
watch George jack up more shots?
So they didn't give the pick to Oklahoma City. I really think that was
Here you go, Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
I'll take the pick, and I'll drive it all the way over there. Here you go. Give it to them today. You can have it no matter what. Let's move on from that. That's ridiculous.
But I think it was a plan nonetheless.
I think the plan was to get higher in the draft.
They wanted that to happen. They hoped that's part 2, but they knew they didn't control that. The thing they controlled was they were going to get somebody in the top 10 as opposed to handing the pick over. Top 9 probably. But as opposed
then
to
they're holding themselves hostage.
And the draft is a painful process. You hold yourself hostage, yes.
I'm okay with the draft. They're holding themselves hostage for some stupid pick to Oklahoma City that some prior manager made.
Yes.
In 10, 15 years from now, that pick ain't going to make a freaking lick of difference. Give them the pick. Play to win. At least give your fans some level of satisfaction in the short term. You got to answer to them. You don't have to answer to me, slobs like me. I'm a nobody. You don't owe me anything. I don't pay a dime to go to your games. The people who go to the games and who live and die by the results, that's who you owe, not me. And so at least give them some short-term satisfaction and not, I'm going to buy tickets months in advance and I'm going to see Marketing in a cream-colored sweatsuit again? Again? And he makes $46 million a year again? And I'm supposed to relate to I know we're not supposed to mention their money because that doesn't really matter. That's by elitists who tell you that attitude. People who are rich tell you that attitude.
Not to worry about the $46 million.
Not the people who I grew up with. We worried about money every freaking day. And the people who tell you don't worry about money, they're rich because they don't worry about money. That's BS. He played in what? He only played in 47 games? He made a freaking $1 million a game.
Did.
For this?
Yep.
Fungal.
Thanks, Jimmy V.
Fanabla. He said Fanabla. Come on, man. You do better than this next year. Screw the NBA draft lottery. It's ridiculous.
Spencer, stupid strategy. Wasted season. Jazz have egg on their face. Got a bunch of thumbs up and heart emojis.
I think they got
that.
mud on their face. A big disgrace. I wanted to wave that Cooper flag all over the place.
Nice.
Singing, we won't rock you. There, you happy?
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
You happy out there?
Mason, number one rule of gambling. You are never due. The odds are the odds, and that's what 14% looks like. Mason with the gambling lesson.
Yeah, but how come it didn't look like that for Dallas?
Yeah, how come it didn't look like that for the Mammoth? Yeah. Those guys over there look pretty happy.
Yeah, but that's totally different.
Dan. Oh, man. All right, so your question, the Jazz fall all the way to 5th. What hope is left? None. Zero. Nada. There is no God, or if there is one, he hates the Jazz.
She do.
Dan's down.
I wanted a Caitlin Clark so bad.
All that tanking for nothing. The Spurs get the bigger pick again.
Yeah.
Call them and see if they'll trade it.
Why would they trade it?
There's a theory out there, which I'm not sure I buy.
What in the crap would the Jazz possibly have that San Antonio would be interested in?
Maybe they're like one of the young players. I don't know. The theory is that Castle and Harper are ball dominant and don't really fit together. I'm not sure I buy that, but that's an immediate theory.
That's what they said about Earl Monroe and Walt
Frazier. Nice. Back to the Garden in your youth. Nice.
I don't want to hear that. Do you want to win or do you not want to win? There's no young player that the Jazz have is going to be better than drafted number 2. That's no way. This is not going to happen.
Tom, I was really wanting to start watching the Jazz again, but now we're looking at 2 to 3 more years of tanking. I can't believe that. I mean,
you can lose.
Maybe
There's a
Tom's
difference between
shot.
losing and tanking in my mind.
There is.
Would you agree with that?
100%.
Right.
100%. If the young guys are going out there all in, trying to win, and they're not good enough, then you're not good enough. But tanking is resting a 23-year-old who everybody knows could go out there and play if you would let him, and you won't let him.
Yeah.
And I don't think, to be clear, I don't think any of the Jazz players are making any of these decisions. I think these are all management decisions. I don't think they're coach decisions. I think it's all management, whether it's Markin or Sexton or Collins or Clarkson or Kessler. Did I miss anybody?
No, I don't think that's even in question. Yeah. Anybody question that? I think that goes without saying.
Sometimes I feel like you do because Markkanen doesn't play enough games. And he doesn't play enough games.
He never plays enough games. That's who he is.
Yeah. But
he's a part-time player.
At the start, that may have been him. I don't know because I'm not following him that close in Chicago and Cleveland. Since he's been here, I don't think he has an injury problem. I think the Jazz haven't wanted to win games.
Yeah,
so
fine.
They shut him down.
I don't think that. Yeah. I think it's a joke that he doesn't play. I mean, and he was the Jazz were gifted an All-Star. We gave you an All-Star when you hosted the game. So shut up. That was it. That's their payback.
Chad, ha 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 ha! OMG, that is hilarious. They get what they deserve. I hated them losing on purpose, and I'm glad it turned out this way.
I thought you were talking about that analyst at BYU, Chad. Ha 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 ha!
No.
That's what I thought he meant.
This is Chad Okeson.
Chad Kawaha.
Nope.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
He started out. His is Chad's a Jazz fan is in revenge mode. He's hated the tanking. He hates the losing on purpose, as he says. I'm glad it turned out.
Tanking is losing on purpose. Yeah. It's a synonym. Yeah. So, yeah, that's one and the same. A good thing they did tank is then they couldn't have dropped lower than 5th. If they wouldn't have tanked, they probably would have dropped them out of the lottery. They'd have the 20th pick if there's any way they can do it.
If they'd given the pick to OKC, that's what would have happened. They'd been sitting there, pick number 11. Their first pick would be 21, and they'd be sitting there watching.
Next segment, I think now, since I've got the frustration out.
No, that's it? I thought you were going to have it all morning.
Well, we got all these guests, so we're not going to be talking about it all the morning.
Yeah, we got the next segment. We can
right.
talk about it then.
So now we turn it on, and the sun has come up. I'll start it right now. We may suck, but at least we're going to have a downtown that's cool.
You're going to have to do better up your game. That didn't make me happy.
That's your call.
Okay.
If it makes me happy, I don't give a crap if it makes you happy. That's up to you.
That's actually true right there.
My job isn't to make you happy. My job is to make me happy. I believe in the individual. You want to make yourself happy?
Go make yourself happy.
I ain't going to change your world. You're going to change your world.
Tyler, too focused on trying to promote good karma. You all forgot Murphy's Law. Get everyone's hopes up too high, it'll always strike. I saw this coming from a mile away.
Oh, you did not.
It's always a coin flip. They were going to draft 5. We literally talked about that multiple times over the course of the season.
Yeah, and it was always a coin flip that Dallas was going to draft 1. I mean, I don't want to hear it. It doesn't work today.
So, serious question, though. Would you be happier if the Wizards were 1 and Charlotte was 2 and the Jazz had fallen to 5?
Yes.
Yeah. The fact that all 3 of them crashed together to 5, 6, 7. All 3 of those teams that chased the
NBA had a rogue referee. Stern over and over and over. When you try to sell me something 1,000 times, at the 999th time, I become a little suspicious. Right?
Yeah.
And, it's the rogue referee. Gobert and Mitchell, they got along. They exchanged Valentines as if they're in the 5th grade. They told us 1,000 times that those two got along. We see it every day. Once you start telling me stuff, truth speaks for itself. It doesn't need to be proclaimed over and over and over and over again. And sure enough, not Washington, that nobody cares. Freaking who was it? DeMarcus Cousins said it. They don't care about the NBA in Charlotte. They don't care about the NBA in New Orleans. They don't care about the NBA in D.C. But go to Dallas, the Southwest's biggest city. Wow, what a stroke of luck.
This is going to put more pressure on Nico. He's going to be expected to win. He's got a 32-year-old big man who's always hurt and a 33-year-old guard who's torn his ACL and ain't going to play half of next season.
And I'd rather have Flag with those two guys, whether they play or not. You build around Flag. You don't build around Davis. This doesn't put any more pressure on him. It actually gives him an extension of time. Let an 18-year-old develop, and he will take you where you want to go. Doncic never took you where you wanted to go.
Well, he took him to the finals.
He did.
That's not to the championship, but to the finals. I mean, Dallas fans thought there was going to be a next chapter, and that's part of why they were so mad.
Who's happier today as NBA fans, the Maverick fans or the Jazz fans?
Yeah. The Maverick fans are happier, but I wonder how many of them are mad that this is going to give Nico more life, and they're going to have him longer.
Now Nico's the big bad guy all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah. I think he is the bad guy.
So then get rid of him. They change general managers like we change underwear.
Right.
That's not that big of a deal.
And they got new ownership there, and how patient will they be? And we will probably be doing that story sooner rather than later.
I'm not going to care about that story.
DJ PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. Bob Casper at the top of the hour. Rafael Barlow coming up in the 9 o'clock hour to talk NBA draft, and Brian Howell with the Colorado Buffalo at 9:30. The spring football tour continues. Stay with us.
Hey, bro. You hear us every day with our crazy opinions.
Hey, what you doing?
Well, now it's time to hear from you.
Hey, great show.
Download the KSL Sports app and fire off your thoughts with the call-in tab on the bottom of your screen.
Your show is fantastic. It's the one that captivates me the most.
You can tell PK to stop singing.
She bangs.
Let Jake and Ben know what you really think of the Jazz.
Woo!
Tell Hans and Scotty about your favorite barbecue spot or what color of tie JJ should be wearing on TV. The best entries will be played on the air. Download the KSL Sports app now and hit the call-in button to let your voice be heard.
I think you guys do an incredible job.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The artist of the day today is Morgan Wallen as he celebrates his birthday. Brought to you by Live Nation. For all the live concerts and events in 2025, check out livenation.com. Does Morgan Wallen cheer you up?
Oh, yeah, man. Chasing You, one of my favorite all-time songs. Love that tune. That's what got me into him in the first place. He just keeps cranking out the hits.
Utah Jazz fall all the way to 5th. What hope is left? Casey sends us a gif of two mammoth lumbering across the snow, kicking up the powder.
Yeah, that sounds good, but if you're a hardcore...
And you're weighing on the Jazz for decades, you can't flip the switch.
Yeah, you can add another team.
But you can't eliminate the one.
No, I don't think it works that way. And that's okay. That's just the way the sporting world works. I mean, once you introduce yourself to sports as a player, maybe when you were younger, and if you should be fortunate enough to play beyond, even if you're fortunate enough to play high school, the odds get lower and lower. And once you become a sports fan, you're introducing emotional turmoil to yourself.
You are. No doubt about that. Casey's got the Y on the football stadium, clearly a BYU fan as he sends that in, and he's bonding with a Ute fan who's got Jordan, the 22, the red and the white. More Mammoth talk, please, and thank you. The NBA's a joke. Why waste time talking about it?
Why'd you waste time writing it?
Writing it.
Is the NBA a joke? I don't rule out that there's some form of funny stuff going on. I rule out complete and total rigoration. I can't see that, but it's just some other stuff that go along. It just makes me wonder that were they ever going to send Flag to an offbeat, out-of-the-way place? I mean, they sent Duncan. Yeah, Duncan, what personality did he have?
He didn't have personality. He was just really good at basketball.
He was.
He was really good at basketball, and he had but man, on the charisma meter,
nobody talks about him making the league.
He might be last place.
He's never the face of the league.
But the championship meter,
great,
he's really good.
But he wasn't. He never sold the league.
You can't be the face of the league when you just.
And that's not his fault because that's who he was.
Answers. Yeah.
So be it. And here they get the first white American player to go number one since 1977. Kent Benson, and he goes to Dallas, and they had less than a 2% chance. I can't help but think, okay, what went on? But at the same time, I'm contradicting myself because I don't think it's rigged. And I know the Jazz Zanuck said it's not rigged. Well, what's he going to say?
He'd get fined from here to the moon if he said anything else.
He's made a healthy living off the league. And it's like, I was thinking about this. I went to see the Diamondbacks over the weekend, and the Dodgers, they're going to end up having a work stoppage in a couple years because of the Dodgers, right? And the Dodgers are bad for the game. Had a 4-game series in Phoenix, and it was hot as can be that time of year, and they had over 182,000. The last time they did that, you know what it was called? It was called the World
Series, and it was the Yankees.
Or maybe a couple years back, a year and a half ago. They don't draw like that. So are the Dodgers really bad for the league, for the game? They may be bad for the competitive balance of the game, but in the Dodgers, they are a traveling rock show now.
Oh, unbelievable. You got so many MVPs. Right. Any one of them could sell a ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, I can absolutely 100% there are people out there saying Mookie Betts is coming to town. That's a game I want to go to. Except there's people saying Shohei Ohtani's coming to town. That's the game I want to go to.
And you didn't even mention Freddie Freeman, who went 4 for 4 in the game that I went to and hit a home run.
Yeah.
And had a sac fly.
8-1 blowout, and it's entertaining.
Yeah, because those 3 guys
are all rock stars.
They did, and they were the show. They did the whole thing. Top right off the bat, boom. And away, I mean, Betts bats second, he gets a single. Freeman bats third, he gets a double, 1-0. And
so they're good, huh?
Right. So are they really bad for the game? I question that. They may be bad for competitive balance, but the fans are flocking to it. And Cooper Flag going to Dallas is good for the league. Is it really good for the league to go to Utah? I don't know. Was go for Charlotte? I can guarantee it's not good for the league to go to Charlotte.
You don't think Charlotte can ever be good? What about the rule about sports? Teams go up, teams go down. Charlotte only goes up to the middle, and then they go back down.
Yeah, but the problem with the NBA is, and you talk about the Mammoth, they're going to get the 4th pick. No one really going to have any idea who the crap this kid is. He's going to go into minor leagues for 2 or 3 years. So it's not as – you can't compare the NBA draft to any other draft.
One player when there's 5 and there's 1 ball, and you can be out there for 40 minutes.
Is so huge.
Yeah, and the hockey players, I mean, you got 4 lines and 3 pairs of defensemen and 2 goalies. You just can't have the same impact.
Right.
That's
great for them. They got the 4th pick. But outside of Cole Bagley and a few others, you don't have any idea who these guys are. You never see them play.
But it might be somebody who helps them win in a few years.
It will. And I believe it will, but it's not right now. And you can't turn around your fortunes. Right? The Mammoth don't need their fortunes to turn around. They just need to get better. Whereas the Jazz desperately need their fortunes to turn around. And here was somebody who could have helped them do it. And the great thing about it is you want a bright spot, maybe who they draft at 5th will be a baller. Because I don't rule that out. It's just today I'm having a hard time. I come in tomorrow, I'm going to put it behind me, and we start to look forward to what they can do to get better. But that's not for today.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. Bob Casper, PGA Championship. Time for the draft. We will do that next. Stay with us.